Hello and welcome to section 3.4b, solving exponential and logarithmic equations. So we were looking at this equation to solve, and I'm going to grab my graphing calculator while I have a chance, but we need to solve for x. So in this case, as you can see, we are looking for the exponent that we could guess and check our way through it, or we could be smart about this and write it as a log, which would give us what the log is equal to as an exponent. So that's what I would start with. So I'm going to go log base 3 of 14 will equal my exponent of x. Well, unfortunately for us, we can't write this answer. We can't type this into our calculator, most of us, but we could do a base change, which basically would tell me that if I go log of 14 over log of 3, that will give me my exponent, or ln of 14 over ln of 3 will give me the x value that I'm looking for. So let's find out what it is on the graphing calculator. And I should probably have moved this over to this side, so we're going to say log of 14 divided by log of 3 using my base change, which gives me 2.4, or it just as a check, ln of 14 divided by ln of 3 gives me those two values as my answer. So really the only thing left for me to do is to say 3 raised to the power of that answer it should give me 14 as a quick check, and so I probably should have done that originally, and therefore there's my correct answer. So that's what we're looking for. So 2.4 would be approximately our answer. That's solving the equation. Another option of solving an equation might look something like this. And so I could subtract 5 across the equal sign. So that means that 2 ln of x will equal -1. And that means that my 2 is a power, or maybe we could divide either way. Well, we'll try it two different ways and see what ends up happening. I'll divide by 2 first and get the ln of x equals -1/2. And so now to get rid of the natural log, I'm going to go base e on both sides, because that's the inverse of natural log. So that will give me just x equals e to the -1/2 power. So grabbing my calculator, second ln, the inverse of -0.5, should give me that as my answer. All right, so there's my answer that I'm looking for if we kind of ignore the top half. Or let's see what would have happened if I would have gone the other way with this and said, oh, at this point right here, so we'll just kind of move over here and say ln of x squared will equal -1. So base e on both sides, just in case, I end up with x squared equaling e to the -1 power. And then I would take the square root of that answer. So x will equal the square root of e to the -1. So let's see what happens when we pull that up on our calculator. The square root of e to the -1 power, which is a little bit more complicated, I gotta use a couple more parentheses, gives me the exact same answer. So the moral of this story is it doesn't matter exactly how you solve these guys, or it's just an algebra problem, and it just kind of depends on how you see it. You should get to the same answer, but again, we are looking at solving equations. So if you have any questions, we'll practice some of this stuff in class. There's going to be more properties and more things to deal with, but we will try these things as we go. So if you have any questions, come to class prepared to ask them.